so I'd say this, like, when I think about the moment we're in now, you know, obviously 2020 is the weirdest year, you know, that we've ever, at least in the last few generations, has experienced. This is a strange year. I like, there's the part of me that puts on my like history and like sociology like expert hat that, you know, if you talk about like civil unrest during a pandemic, like it just, we act like the Black Plague. Like we're so special that we're only dealing with one pandemic and one issue. That's the first time in history. You know what I'm saying? Like but during the rest of history, the bubonic plague was at the same time as smallpox and syphilis and, you know, and the Crusades. Like it's all happening at the same time. So we're lucky that we only got two, you know what I'm saying, big issues we're dealing with at one time. But I'd say this, like the tone in Los Angeles, like we're obviously, LA's not new to police brutality. We're not new to justice fights. We're not new to community organizing, to addressing our police all the way back to, you know, the 1960s with the Watts riots, you know. And I mean, my grandmother, like I'm 5 generations deep here, you know, so my grandmother was here for the Watts riots, and she, it was over police brutality, you know, that's what sparked that, you know. And, you know, Compton and Watts in South LA was like, this stuff's documented. Like I can't make this stuff up, that they were, the LAPD were recruiting men from the South that were disgruntled over the ending of Jim Crow, you know. So you're recruiting racist men to come bring back law and order to make our country great again. You know what I'm saying, if you will. So we're not new to this, you know. Obviously this moment, I feel like, in my opinion, Los Angeles has reached just such a fever pitch in that, just in a lot of ways, like the rest of the country, with the, you know, women's movement and the march, you know, the women's march, you know, climate change, you know, the school shootings and stuff like that. So like we've been in every year for the last 4 years, you know, subtext the presidency of Trump, you know, the travel ban, like we've been protesting in the streets every year. So it's like every sort of, you know, socioeconomic and sociocultural group has been touched. You know, this is what intersectionality, that's why intersectionality and critical race theory is so important, because it's like, we've all, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Latino, whether you're an immigrant, whether you're a woman, whether you're Black, we've all have been experiencing this ratcheting of our system, showing that it's never respected us, you know. So I just feel like this one was such a fever pitch that it was like, and obviously, you know, on the backs of the quarantine, us being stuck in the house for 2 months, like eventually was like, you know what, enough. And then watching our federal government really kind of showing that I don't think you have a grip on this. I don't think we could trust you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we've had to fall back on our governor, you know, like kudos to Gavin Newsom. Like he's within this protest, you know what I'm saying? And even in the pandemic, like he stepped up, you know what I'm saying? He was doing amazing things, you know what I'm saying? So like, either way, I feel like it put this, like, we are on our own. It's up to us kind of like tone here, you know. And then I think the uniqueness of seeing so much diversity, I say all those things to say that I think that feeds the amount of like real diversity we're seeing, and the size that we're seeing of this particular moment in the struggle for equality, you know, and ending of police brutality. You know, again, like I said, like I feel like every group has been touched. So now that they're seeing, whereas in 2014 when we was trying to explain, or in 1992 or in 1960 when we were trying to explain that, like they were like, oh, that's a Black issue, and we're like, no, you don't understand. They gonna come for you too. You know what I'm saying? Even among like Latino communities with like a strong like anti-black sentiment, like it's like, no, you don't understand. They gonna come for you too. You know what I'm saying? Obviously that's not like the whole story between black and brown unity. There's obviously LA and a lot of cities. There's always been a lot of synergy among us, but there's always been a lot of troubles too. But I think today, this moment is like who's going, okay, no, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the 60s during like the Brown Berets and the Black Panthers, like there was a lot of like black and brown unity there. When black people were saying, no, you don't get it. They gonna come for you. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I've been seeing that. The question still remains. It's like, if Justice Work is a concert, like maybe right now, this is your song. Maybe this is your song. You like this song. But the question is, are you gonna stay for the whole show? You know, so us who've been in the work has kind of got our arms folded on the side, like, yo, I'm glad you're here, but this is a long show. You feel me? Like, are you gonna stay? And if I see that you're willing to stay when the cameras leave, you know what I'm saying, and when the news cycle changes to something else, and we still getting murdered in the streets, you know, or when you ask me, you know, what my solutions are, and we give you solutions like, well, here's the problem with your police department. You got to do this. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be like, it was cool for me to put a picture on my Instagram, but like, now that we talk about solutions, do you trust me? You know what I'm saying? You trusted us when we said, you know, we need to, I don't know, whatever other, bloated organizations, especially like when you look at like conservative thought, like whatever other bloated organizations that we were like, that they were like, yo, you need to defund that. Government money shouldn't come to this. We were like, I was like, yeah. So we're going, okay, so we're dying. So maybe we should defund this. And it's like, I don't know about this defunding thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think the question is, are you going to stick around? Yeah, man. I think we're kind of covering it, man. I just think like, you know, now is like really like at the end of the day, like now is the time. We have a chance. We get to build our civilization from scratch. You know, we're starting to come out of our homes. Like, what if we like, maybe let's not be in such a hurry to get back to normal. Maybe normal wasn't so good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just normalized. So I would say to everybody, like, think about in your own personal life, in your families, you know what I'm saying? In your culture, in your cities, that before these protests and before the quarantine that you just considered normal, but really shouldn't have been normal. You know what I'm saying? What can you leave back? You know, what have you learned in this time? I know for me, like, the amount of like bonding I've had with my kids as a touring artist, like it's super hard, you know what I'm saying? Cause you're gone all the time, but like, and I'm very disciplined in my travel. So even me who like, I don't stay gone longer than 4 days, you know what I'm saying? Continuously, you know what I'm saying? Like I take a week off every month. Like even with all that, like the amount of bonding is like, you realize like, especially as a parent, that like, I mean, you don't really know your kids. Like she leaves for school and then comes back at like 4, takes a nap, and then she wakes up, does her homework, and then I'm just yelling at her for chores till it's time to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? And when she finally got a break, you know, on the weekend, she want to be with her homies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you don't really know your kids. And I feel like at this point, at the end of this, like being stuck at home, I'm like, damn, my daughter's funny, fool. Like, she talented, man. Like, yo, my daughter cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just didn't know because I ain't know her. You feel me? Right? And then the same with her, she just having these realizations like, damn, like my dad is like, I guess he all right. You know what I'm saying? Well, he not just like barking. He's not just barking like rules to me, like clean up your dishes, clean your room. When he not doing that and we just chilling, it's like, damn, he kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'll be like, yo, I'm a professional rapper. Of course I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, she don't see that. She don't see that side of me. You know what I'm saying? She just see me, again, mad that she ain't emptied the dishwasher. You feel me? So like, that's something I know in my life. I'm like, I want to make that normal where like, I know my kids and my kids know me. So like, that would be my encouragement. That's the last thing I'll say to anybody is just like, think about what you want to bring with you after all this is over? Like, what is the future after this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is, like, maybe you've never voted locally. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let's change that. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe do you know your city's school superintendent? Of course you don't. You know what I'm saying? But like, why not? You feel me? Like, you know, so those types of things, I would say, like, let's consider like how we can do this better.